What you're looking at here is a strap that wraps around a parallam and ties into a 4x4 for a structural shear wall. So basically this is a beam that's in the floor, and it is also holding up the exterior second story wall. So this beam here has got a lot of weight on it, and it's also being used to provide structural support for a shear wall. However, I would like to point one more thing out, and that is the fact that the plywood here is actually breaking at the bottom plate, which is what the engineer wanted. And this is a standard construction practice. You'll see this everywhere. An engineer will design something or draw something. Hey, this is it. This is about as much thought that goes into something like this as is going to happen. And again, you're getting the plywood. It's nailed at the bottom of the plate. What I'm suggesting is that you run the plywood down a little if it is possible to nail into the beam and tie the wall securely to the beam. I mean, imagine if the plywood is breaking at the bottom plate, then realistically, if we had a nice juggler, a big earthquake, then it could separate the bottom plate along with the shear wall from the beam. Now, it wouldn't be as easy. Let's face it, if the plywood was actually connecting to the beam, and again, you can do this in a variety of different locations, and I've been doing it for years, and actually had an engineer one time. I told him my idea, and he says, no, that is fantastic. He actually let me eliminate a bunch of building hardware that he requested because this was going to provide him with a better tie. And actually, I started to see more of this type of details, these types of details on his building plans. After that, providing me with another option, I could either run the plywood down or up to another structural part of the building that would provide a nice tie everything together. Or I could use additional hardware. And again, A35s, I can't see the benefit in some of these metal building parts or components, building hardware, than you can with something like this. This makes sense for horizontal and lateral movement. Something like this, to me, and again, I'm no engineer, is just going to provide a little more common sense structural support than an A35 that's nailed at two different angles, kind of a thing. Let's face it, you can pull on a board and pull an A35 apart. Something like this would be a little more difficult.